Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet. Cruz is in between the pines. Bishop England coming in at 2-0, taking on the 1-1 Timberland Wolves. We are at the Den tonight, and we thank you for joining us. Alongside Everett German, I'm Dean Stevens. Appreciate you being with us tonight. And what a matchup we have here tonight. So much great talent coming out of this part of Berkeley County through the years, Everett. But when you talk about one constant with Timberland, you start with their head coach, Art Craig.
Yeah, 18 years this guy has led the Timberland football team, winning 16 region championships. To say that Art Craig gets it done, he gets it done here at Timberland.
You know, normally we take a look at two players that we're going to keep an eye on during the game. We're going to change that up a little bit because across the field, on the sideline for Bishop England tonight, is the coach, head coach, John Canty.
Yeah, a good friend of mine. We grew up together. John last year missed all of the season except the last 3 games with some illnesses. Just couldn't give his team all that he needed to give. So it's good to see John Canty back. When you think about Bishop England football, well, you think about a Canty, whether it's his dad or the coach now, John.
He might be feeling better, but he might be losing sleep and trying to figure out how to stop number 10, Matt Williamson.
Yeah, Matt Williamson, a guy that, well, he's the ultimate two-way player. Offensively, he leads the team in rushing, almost close to 230 yards, including 125 against Stratford. And when he's not playing offense, well, he plays defense. He's 5'9", but he's a linebacker, leads the team with 21 tackles. This guy does it all for Timberland.
We're going to call him Matt the Splat tonight. So the table is set for this 2A showdown here at Timberland High School. Pull up a chair, join us, kickoff, coming back right after this. Welcome back to Berkeley County, St. Stephen to be exact, where tonight it is a 2A matchup. The battling Bishops, the Bishop England, taking on the Timberland Wolves. Timberland 1-1 on the year. Battling Bishops come in at 2-0, and an absolutely spectacular night for high school football. An early season disrupted a little bit by a hurricane, and everything is back on track starting last weekend. Bishop England won the toss, deferred the kick. Jamal Williams and Jalen Richardson back deep for the Timberwolves. Our game time temperature brought to you by Roper St. Francis, where experience matters. And that is 72 degrees. Quite a pleasant 72 degrees, my man.
I would agree, Dean. You could not ask for better weather. Nice, cool, just a little crisp in the air. Perfect setting for some high school football on a Friday night.
Nick DeFazio kicks it into the end zone. Timberland's going to go ahead and take the ball out at the 25-yard line.
DeFazio with a pretty strong leg, Dean. That's his 6th touchback of the season. So normally in high school, we don't see many kickers that can get it to the end zone, but he has no problems thus far this season.
Our Spink starting lineup tonight start with Timberland's offense. Sam Moultrie, keep an eye on him. You got Keon Bishop, Tyreek Giles. He's just a sophomore. And then there you see James Alston, the quarterback, Nelson and Williamson in the backfield with Richardson and Jenkins and the wide receivers as they come out with a 2 wide receiver set right now. Alston's going to take the snap, hand it off to, got to keep it himself. Struggled a little bit with that snap. It's going to be a loss of 2 on the play. As for battling Bishop's defense, James O'Connor, Mick Marcaci, Matthew Champlin. Keep an eye on Drew Owens. He comes in with 19 tackles on the year. And then Jaron McCoy and Charlie Michelle filling out the backfield. Interesting story on number 4, Nate Abdu. Hadn't played football. Pure baseball player until he came out this year to play his senior year. Been a great addition, according to John Canty.
And, of course, Mike Darnell, the baseball coach, the offensive coordinator for Bishop England, so I'm sure he had something to do with it to get his baseball players on the field.
Alston pump fakes down the field. He's got a wide-open receiver. That's Jalen Richardson. The ball thrown a little short. Richardson had a chance to get it at the 50-yard line, make it 3rd and about 11.
Yeah, Charlie Michelle with the great coverage there. Have a pump fake here and tried to connect with his receiver deep, but again, kind of just getting that hand up, Dean, I think distracted the wide receiver, Richardson, and could not come down with it. So a big 3rd down coming up for the Wolves.
This BE defense led by number 15, Drew Owens, the linebacker. Charlie Michelle to his left. The snap's going to go inside. Williamson's going to run it. It's going to be met by a host of white jerseys. Picks up 6 on the play, certainly not enough.
And you know, this is a Timberland team that wants to run the football, and a great opening possession for the BE defense in terms of doing a great job of gang tackling and getting a lot of green helmets to the football.
Going to set up 4th and 6. As they sub in a couple of players. Jalen Richardson, the wide receiver, also double timing it as the punter.
We'll see that a lot tonight, Dean. A lot of guys playing both ways.
I like that one. A lot of roll.
Exactly.
Right?
Whether it's in the air or a little roll at the end, it all counts the same.
Sammy Gress is going to just watch it roll on by. He's going to settle at the 35-yard line, and that's where Bishop England's offense is going to take over with 10:28 on the clock. Our Cruise Chevrolet keys to the game, my man.
It's going to take some, obviously, a valiant effort tonight for the Timberland Wolves in order to come up with the win. Of course, let's start with Bishop England, a balancing act on offensively. They ran it 42 times against Philip Simmons and threw it 31. So I think, Dean, if they can keep the same formula, they'll have a good chance to keep this game close going into the 4th quarter. When you look at Timberland, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're going to do what they do best. And Bishop England knows what Timberland wants to do. It's just a matter of whether the Wolves can do exactly what they always do and kind of put their will on Bishop England.
As Cam Costa open it up, throwing it about 15 yards down the field, misses Eddie Marinero. As for that offense, take a look at it for the battling Bishops. We've got Wysung Hewlin, Carroll, Moxley, and Marcaci, the offensive line. Costa, the quarterback. Jaron McCoy, the wide receiver, as we get our first flag of the game. Defensively, our Spinks defensive starters for Timberland. To see the going to be encroachment on the defense.
And those are the silly penalties that you absolutely can't control.
Right. Timberland defense, keep an eye on the guy in the middle, number 56. That's Sam Moultrie, the defensive lineman. He is simply known as the run stopper. Matt Williamson, number 10. He's got 21 tackles on the year. And speaking of Sam Moultrie, going to be in the bottom of that pile and says, hey, look what I got.
The Bishops obviously want to try to establish the ground game led by Michael Long, who leads the team in rushing this season. He's already carried the ball 47 times this year for 315 yards, also 2 touchdowns. So now there'll be an opportunity for the quarterback, Cameron Costa, to see if he can pick up 6 yards at least on this first drive.
Costa looks left the entire way, pulled in by number 3, Sammy Gress. Going to be about 5 yards short of the first down. Costa's looking over to John Canny.
Just a simple out pattern there ran by the Bishops, and Gress able to come down with it. But as you mentioned, Dean, not enough yardage to pick up the first down. So both teams will start offensively not being able to pick up a first down, and they'll punt it back to Timberland.
It's Nick DeFazio averaging about 35 yards a punt.
DeFazio, he'll handle all of the kicking duties for the Bishops here tonight.
Jalen Richardson going to let it bounce twice. He's going to pick it up. He's going to find a slot in the middle. Pulls it to the outside, and here he comes. A nice block by number 3. He's got a seam down the sideline. He's got a seam the rest of the way to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. That is Jalen Richardson, the first big score of the game, but
unfortunately a lot of laundry on the field, and it is yellow. We got 2 penalty flags on the field, so let's see if this outstanding punt return by Richardson will stand or if it will be nullified.
I think that's probably one of the penalties there. The hit to the face. I think there was a block in the back further down the field.
Give me the official call here. Yeah, it looks like a block in the back. So that will take 6 points off the board. What would have been a big play for the Wolves. Now Wolves have to start, still have decent field position, but nothing is great field position like obviously
like in the end zone.
Getting in the end zone. And give credit to Richardson. Did a nice job of kind of setting his blocks up. Started left, came back right, and the Wolves had the wall right down the sideline, but unfortunately someone got a little too close in the back, and that will take the touchdown off the board.
So start at 1st and 10 from the 35 with 8:55 on the clock. A little jet sweep around the inside. I'm going to tell you something about this kid, Jamari Nelson, watching film of him this week. This is a guy who doesn't mind lowering his shoulder. He's got deceptive strength, and he'll run you over.
Yeah, Drew Owens and Jaron McCoy there on the stop. And as you know, Dean, when you have athletes and speed like Timberland does, you want to kind of utilize the entire field, get those guys in space and let them use their athletic gifts. So the jet sweep there, very positive, and our first down of the night for Timberland.
A really good running back combination. Going to give it to Williamson up the middle. Going to pick up about 7 yards.
And you kind of have a feeling, Dean, they're trying to set this Bishop England defense up. You kind of pound it inside, and get those guys, those defensive ends kind of pinching down, and then that's when you want to hit them on the outside. And, again, you see 4 white jerseys there on the stop. A great job of team defense, team tackling by Bishop England.
Roman Watford checking out. Jalen Richardson checking in. James Alston over the center, going to jet sweep it again, this time to Nelson. Same play they ran on first down. This time he's going to pick up about 6 yards. Looks to be enough for the first down.
Michael Owens there, BE, there to push him out of bounds. You can kind of tell, Dean, maybe it's just the way he was carrying the ball. I could see in the future them running that jet sweep, him stopping and throwing the ball down the field, because that secondary, they're trying to cheat up to stop the run. So let's see if Art Craig's obviously saw the same thing that I saw in that particular play, and if later in the game he ends up throwing that.
So 1st and 10 from the BE 42, 7:50 on the clock. The second drive for Timberland, went 3 and out on their first. Bishop England shuffles in a couple of players. It's Nathan Everman coming off. William Anderson coming in. He's had 11 tackles on the year, fumble recovery as well. Take a look at Williamson inside. That's big Nick Marchese putting the pads on him first, limiting his gain to 3 yards.
Yeah, good job there by Marchese, able to get into the backfield. BE with only 3 down linemen, but doing a great job of causing havoc and getting in the backfield. So, yeah, he went unblocked. I'm sure that's not what Art Craig drew up on the board. You got to know where that young man is at all time. Nice tackle by Marchese.
Also getting a little help from Anderson, who just came back into the game. BE starts 9 seniors on that defense. Richardson in motion. Alston going to hand it off, going to keep it himself. Looks like he wants to throw it to the outside. He's going to keep it slung down by number 15, Drew Owens.
That's one of those RPOs, that run-pass option, where you have the option to either give it to the tailback or keep it, and could have thrown it to the guy out in the flat, but he elected to take off and run. And you talk about an aggressive tackle. Nice job by Drew Owens, the senior 5'10", senior linebacker for the Bishops.
That was one area that Coach Canty really wanted to see improvement, was just tackling. So their last game against Philip Simmons didn't see a lot of what they wanted. Worked on technique this week. Alston back in the shotgun, going to step back and look. He's going to go deep down the right side. He's got a man open. Overthrows him just a little bit.
Yeah, Michael Owens was beat on that play. Unfortunately, just not able to connect, and I'm sure that Jamal Williams would love to have that back, but he definitely got behind the secondary, but the ball just overthrown. Second down coming up for Timberland.
So there was a legal procedure on the play against Timberland. Be interesting to see here what Bishop England does. Coach Candy on the far sidelines talking it over.
Yeah, you got to figure.
Looks like he's going to deny it, decline it.
Yep. And I think I said, Dean, first down. I meant 4th down. So good job, because you got to figure if you take the penalty, that would allow BE another opportunity. So instead, they'll have to punt it away. And what appeared to be a very promising drive for Timberland will end with a punt, so we think. Back to Bishop England.
2 guys back. Richardson boots it down. It's going to stick at the 5-yard line and come back about 2 yards. Almost caught number 3, Sammy Gress, sleeping there, but a great job on the punt by Jalen Richardson. We're knotted at zeros with 6:22 left. We'll see what Bishop England can do with their second possession of the game. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Stars and Strikes and Cruz Chevrolet. Hey fans, we're giving you an opportunity to vote for tonight's Rockstar Cheer of the Night. Log on to abcnews4.com/poll and vote for either of tonight's cheer squad. That's Timberland or Bishop England. Cast a vote for the Rockstar Cheer of the Night. Results coming up later in our game tonight. We started from the 9-yard line. Quick handoff inside. And that is their main running back, Bishop England. That's number 22, Michael Long.
Yeah, Roman Watford there on the stop. And this is the area of the field, Dean, where you have to be careful And if you're Timberland, you don't want BE to pick up, obviously, a first down, so that way you can get great field position. So just got to be careful here for Bishop England and not make that costly mistake deep in your territory.
That is Cam Costa looking for Sammy Gruss. Throws it a little bit behind him on that slant route. Costa gets knocked down to the play.
We talked about it. Costa, a solid quarterback, already threw for almost 400 yards on the season, 4 touchdowns. Also has a rushing touchdown for the Bishops, so he definitely can throw the ball. His favorite receiver is Sullivan Clare and Sammy Gress. So let's see if he can connect on this third down play.
He sets up about the 2-yard line. Bad snap's going to pick it up, going to run it forward. Going to be taken down at about the 5-yard line.
Christopher Williams in the right place at the right time, and a great job by Costa, able to make sure that he secured the ball first and then tried to get whatever he could on the busted play, but not enough for the first. And so what will happen is they'll now have to punt deep from their end zone.
Number 52, Jamal Jenkins in. So second straight 3 and out for Bishop England. We've already seen what Richardson can do. This punt's going to come short, fall at the 30. He's going to bounce back just a couple of yards, and that's where it'll settle at the 30-yard line. So prime field position now for Timberland as they roll out for their third possession. Speaking of thirds, let's check in with the third man of our team down to the sidelines. I just call him Big Bob. You know him as Trooper Bob.
Yeah, hey, Dean, it's a beautiful night for a football game. We're down here on the sidelines with John Caffarello with Stars and Strikes. John, thanks for coming out tonight. Tomorrow, we know you got something special going on there at Stars and Strikes. Tell us about it.
We do. Saturdays is the 5th quarter. Any kids 15 and under wear their team jerseys in. Could be baseball, football, basketball, whatever, and they get an hour unlimited game card, period. They just walk in and they get it.
And you also have the escape room. Tell us a little bit about that. When does that open?
So our grand opening for the escape room is the weekend of October 11th. We have 3 rooms. We have the Budapest, we have the Code, and we have Murder Mansion. You get in the room, you get locked in for over about an hour. If you go over an hour, you failed, right? 3 rooms. You try to read all the clues to get back out.
Well, there you go. Hey, my game back in the day was Donkey Kong. You remember that? That was my game.
Yeah, mine was Pac-Man.
There we go. Hey, we got a check presentation now with John Caffarello, Stars and Strikes. Also, LaShonda Reed with Timberland.
Can I go to play?
There we go, $500. Look at that.
Stars and Strikes proud to present each participating home school a check for $500. The grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 9 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated more than $100,000 to Low-Country students and schools. Congratulations from MyTV Charleston, ABC News 4, and Stars and Strikes. So appreciate the support, guys. Another penalty down on second down. Ever did you see what happened there?
I did not. I was just listening to the promotion for tomorrow for Stars and Strikes, and I'm thinking, can I pass for 15?
Yes, you may.
We'll see how that happens. But, again, the penalty against Timberland. It's a little backing up, but still a second down play coming up for the Wolves.
2nd and 9 from the 24, 4:27 on the clock. Alston goes back under center's going to hand it in the middle.
And that play really
Williamson for about 8
has worked for Bishop England, for Timberland, I should say. Really doing a great job of getting into that second level of the defense. So we talked about the 3-man front, as we're going to have a stoppage of play for measurement. But no, the white hat says it's a first down, so the drive will continue for Timberland. But yeah, Timberland doing a nice job, Dean, of kind of exposing that 3-man front of Bishop England and kind of riding that fullback right through between the nose guard and the tackle.
That whiteout you refer to as Charlie Drake handling the field for us tonight. Alston back, looking over across the middle. He's got Jalen Richardson across the middle. Wide open, split the seam. Richardson denied a touchdown on the punt return, but gets it on the 20-yard pass from Alston.
And that's what happens, Dean, when you have the ability to run the football. Everybody kind of falls for that fake, and then you have someone running wide open down the field. And the secondary, Charlie Michelle, kind of caught sleeping, wanted to come up to stop the run. First touchdown of the night goes to Timberland.
Well, if you're Bishop England's defensive coordinator, I mean, you take a look at James Alston. He's thrown the ball 21 times all year in 2 games. He's 10 of 21 for 111 yards. And you look at how dominant their run game has been. And by the way, take a look at big number 56. Follow him off, boys.
Sam
That is
Moultrie.
Omari Jackson. Oh, was that Sam Moultrie?
Yeah, that's Sam Moultrie, the junior offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Not often, Dean, that you see the lineman that's also a kicker as well.
Well, it was a straight-on kick as well. That's what I loved about it.
The old Mark Mosley days.
They were telling me earlier, number 23, Omari Jenkins, would see some of the kicking duties as well. He plays defensive line. He's out right now on the getting ready for the kickoff return. He's a ninth grader, 13 years old. Let's take a look at this.
And just nothing fancy there. Give credit to Richardson. I think he came from that tight end position, just ran the seam route, ran right by the secondary and wide open for the easy touchdown.
That touchdown really set up by the punt. Bad field position by Bishop England, was stuck right in front of their goal line.
And you have to think, Dean, that Art Craig, on the previous possession when he punted the ball, that's exactly what he wanted. Punt the ball, pin them deep, get a 3-and-out, and then get outstanding field position, and it worked perfect for Timberland.
All right, so that was Jenkins kicking off for us. Again, straight ahead.
Is that a fair catch? Nope, it was a penalty flag.
Maybe offsides on Timberland.
Which makes a little sense, Dean. You get all jacked up. Your team just scored the first touchdown. You have that boost, that energy.
You ready to go?
Yeah, you just got to, but you can't be offsides. You know, you think about this series, Dean. This is the 15th time these teams have played, and
yes,
Timberland is 14-1.
Yes.
Of course, the one win came back, I think, when Danny Krogan was the quarterback back in 2011, 2012. So it's safe to say that Timberland definitely has had Bishop England's number, and I know John Candy would like nothing more than to come up to the country up here in Berkeley, or actually St. Stephen's to be technically correct, and escape with a victory.
Jenkins kicking off again. This time it's going to angle off to the right. They're going to let it bounce and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. But I saw Jenkins down on the field, Omari Jenkins, and I asked the coach, I go, who's kicking for you guys tonight? He said 23, Omari Jenkins. And I looked at the kid and I go, that's the ninth grader, right? He goes, yeah, he's 13 years old.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, I'm glad I don't have to feed that 13-year-old because he is huge. And he just looked at me, he said, he's going to be our next great player coming out of here.
Of course, they've had some great ones here at Timberland, and Art Craig really has done just a great job of building this Timberland program. Think about it. They averaged, Dean, 10, 11 wins over the past 18 years, and as we mentioned in the Open, 16 region championships. He just continues to reload this program and keep it moving forward.
So we're going to start 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Krogan's back with split sets. Cott's going to fake inside, going to keep it himself. He's not going to go anywhere.
Wow.
Pretty good play by your kicker, Sam Moultrie.
Yeah, he's doing it all right now.
Just a junior.
I think I saw him selling hot dogs and popcorn up in the stands. I mean, he's obviously the field goal or the extra point kicker, and now playing defensive line, his normal position. And again, a good-looking junior for Art Craig. Great penetration on that stop.
That's -8 on that play.
And, to kind of slow down that rush, maybe you try to throw a little screen or something to kind of just loosen up that Timberland defense.
Costa back and fake it inside. There's that little pass across the middle to his number one receiver, Sullivan Clare. Going to pick up about 8 yards on the play.
Yeah, that's the 8th reception of the season for Clare, leading the Bishops in receiving. And those are the types of simple plays, Dean, just a little quick 5-yard slant that if they can constantly connect on that eventually will open up the running game for the offense.
So Costa looking at 3rd and 7, ball on the 37. Going to roll out to the right. Got him wide open. Richardson falls down on the play. That's Clare again. That's a big game all the way down to the 38-yard line.
Just simple pitch and catch, and a great route ran by Clare, and a great job by Costa delivering the ball. Just kind of rolled to the right and able to deliver the strike right to him. So good job, and the Bishops in business.
It's a Low Country Orthopedics and Sports Medicine first down. They're first of the game.
You look right here at the bottom of the field, Danny. Sammy Gress has one-on-one up against Jamal Williams. Safety's kind of cheating over to the left side there, so it's really just isolation. Let's see if eventually Costa tries to test Williams and see if Gress can beat him one-on-one.
Not seen Michael Long get into the game much. Pitch it off, and there is Long right there. A great job by Roman Watford to come up and make the stop, just a sophomore.
Yeah, I know that's a speed option to the left, Dean, but I think the team speed of Timberland is going to be very hard to have success on that particular setup against Timberland. Those guys do a great job of running sideline to sideline.
First down plays have been a problem. First series, it was an incomplete pass. Second series was -2. Then it was -8 on the first down play to start this series off.
I saw offense and defense. Who's it going to go against? It's going to go against offense.
All depends who you're buying from. Bishop England tried to sell it on Timberland, but it's going to be -5 here. 5-yard penalty in the offsides with Bishops.
When you look at this BE offense, Dean, the receivers, they're going to have to win some of these one-on-one battles. So if you have just a high safety just by himself, obviously he can't cover the entire field. So if you got a one-on-one situation, even if you don't connect on it, you still have to throw the ball down the field to at least have that in the back of Timberland's mind that you can throw the ball down the field and loosen up this front.
They're going to give the 5 right back to him. Then you get the encroachment call here.
This Timberland defense, they're good. You don't want to be behind the sticks. So every yard matters. So you're right, Dean. Now, it's kind of interesting, Dean. Before the first penalty against Bishop England, it was kind of 2nd and 11. And now the penalty after Timberland looks like it's 2nd and
they messed up.
Okay, 11. So originally they moved the ball back some.
2nd 11 from the 39. First down about the 29-yard line. Costa rushed. Just going to throw it up in the air. Nice reach out by Claire, but not going to get it. Looked like he slowed down a bit on the route, Everett.
Yeah, it's really a fly route down the sideline, and Costa felt the pressure, did a great job of just getting it up there and giving his wide receiver an opportunity. But again, that pass rush is pretty heavy, so you got to slow that pass rush down. Just a middle screen, Dean, or something off to the right will definitely make those guys think twice about being so eager to get to Mr. Costa.
3rd and 11 now from the 39. 3 receivers to the left, 1 up top. Long out of the backfield. Does get him out of the pocket. Throwing back across his body. Going to be hit and stuck. It looks like number 9, Eddie Marinero, his first catch of the game. The junior. Will it be enough for the first down? It will be.
That's a tough throw for Costa. He's throwing across his body, rolling left. He's a right-hander and able to kind of get those shoulders squared just enough to be able to deliver the ball to Marinero. So good job. The drive will continue for the Battling Bishops.
Yeah, it was a really – and I love the play call, just as you were talking about. Get him outside of the pocket, give him a chance to throw the ball because that Timberland pass rush up the middle has been stifling. As he goes back under the center, Long behind him, going to hand off to Long. He's going to look right. Not much there at all. May pick up a yard if he's lucky.
Yeah, this rush defense of Timberland, outstanding thus far. But you have to give credit to the offensive coaching staff of BE. They're not giving up on the run yet, at least keeping Timberland honest with their efforts by attempting to run the football. But as you mentioned, Dean, they got to pick up more than a yard or lose yards on first down to give themselves a better opportunity on 2nd and 3rd.
They do like to balance it out. Costa, 2nd and 9, is going to pitch it out, a quick pitch to Long. Nice block. He gets out on the outside, but not be able to get there. That was Sammy Gress holding block on the outside. But again, Long couldn't turn the corner and make it to that block.
Yeah, and Christopher Williams there to make the stop for Timberland. Pretty quick first quarter, Dean, but so far, the Wolves in control.
It is a 7-0 game on a touchdown pass from James Alston to Jalen Richardson. That's the difference in this game. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Stars and Strikes, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. This Friday Night Rivals season, we're proud to continue to spread the love with the Synovus PB&J Blitz benefiting the Low Country Food Bank. The local high school that donates the most jars of peanut butter and jelly wins. Synovus will give $100 to the winning school each week and $2,500 to the overall champion at the end of the season, with half going to the school, the other half to the Low Country Food Bank. Synovus is proud to help tackle hunger in the Low Country. That winner tonight, by the way, Timberland, the winner here. Ooh. Eddie Marinero lays out Richardson on the coverage. Really well-thrown ball by Costa on third and about 9.
Yeah, it's safe to say Bishop England, they're not afraid to throw it down the field, and I think you're going to see more of that as the game goes on. A great ball thrown by Costa, just could not connect with his target, and unfortunately that means a long field goal attempt coming up for the Bishops.
This looks to be about a 43-yard field goal. Interesting here, Nick DeFazio, 1 for 7 on the year. That was impressively just a little bit to the left.
Yeah, had plenty
1
of
for
legs.
8 on the year, but I'm telling you right now, looks a lot better than that stat.
Exactly. There's no question as the ball, as you can see, hooks to the left. He has the leg, just needs to kind of straighten it up a little bit, push it a little to the right, and that would be dead center. So despite a very promising drive, the Bishops will end up without any points, and Timberland will take over.
Yeah, it was a good drive. You got to look at that 30-yard pass play that was really kind of the separator, kind of get it all going.
And you have to think, this BE team still trying to feel their way out against Timberland. So, maybe later on in the game, some of those passes right now, they're a little bit too long. They'll be able to connect.
That's Jamari Nelson sweeping to the right side, picking up 5.
Looks like leading the charge was Charlie Michelle for the Bishops. We talked, Dean, about the Timberland defense doing a great job of running sideline to sideline, and can't take anything away from this Bishop defense. They're doing the same as well. Also, Michael Owens on that stop on the previous play. Just two gritty football teams going at it here tonight in St. Stephen.
Yeah, Nelson set up to the left. Williamson in the backfield. Alston over center. He's going to give it to Williamson. Just smashes his way ahead for about 7 yards and a first down.
And that's always been a staple of Art Craig in terms of usually whether it be the T offense, the triple option sometimes. He loves testing that middle of that defense, and as soon as you start pinching down, that's when he's going to hit you to the outside. So a solid run by the Wolves and a first down for Timberland.
Art is, fairly famous for the way he runs his veer. He's taught classes in Alaska. But when talking to him on the phone this week, he's like, I've got so many athletes. What we want to do now is we want to find our best matchup and then take advantage of that. And they'll run maybe a little bit more out of the shotgun, but right now they found success on the ground. That's Williamson now. Another 9 yards still up. There you see the strength of Matt Williamson picking up 9 on the gain.
Of course, to have that success, you have to have a solid offseason. Williamson able to drag some of the BE defenders with him. And like I said, you get that leg strength during the summer, Dean, running the hills and getting in the weight room and just keeping those legs moving. And that's what Williamson done. And it's easy to see why he's the leading tackler on the football team as well as the leading rusher for Timberland.
5'9", 165. Art Craig says simply he just works his tail off. Sets up close behind Alston. Alston's going to go in, push for the first down. Going to get a little help from Williamson from behind.
And now, what to say, Dean, give credit to Timberland and their offensive line. They're just winning the battle between their line and the defensive line of Bishop England. So it's just helmet on helmet, and right now Timberland having their way with the smaller defensive line of Bishop England.
I think Art Craig recognizes that, and that's why we see a little bit more of this veer option and a little less of the pass, even though it was the pass that put the team up 7-0. And Alston hit Richardson.
But as we all know, Dean, in football, you got to be able to run the football. The run sets up the pass.
First attempt for the 45. There's Nelson. Going to get a holding call, it looks like, possibly on the outside. Got number 18, Jamal Williams, possibly.
Man, you could just see Jamari Nelson.
I'm telling you.
The senior running back, like a little scat back, just elusive and quick. And, yeah, if you're Bishop England, Timberland wants to spread that defense out. Tonight, if you're BE, you're definitely going to have to run sideline to sideline. These guys just can move But the Bishops catch a break here as you see the holding penalty right there on Gress.
Yeah, let me go ahead and clarify so Jamal Williams' parents don't call me. That was on number 11, Jalen Richardson, with the hold. Now I've done this 2 weeks in a row now, right? So last week I found a couple of youngsters in the crowd. I go, hey, you want to come join us in the booth? And they do.
Right.
Right? So same thing today. So we get Jeremiah to come up here with us, right?
Right.
And he turns out he's Jalen Richardson's brother.
Exactly.
So he's, how old are you? He's 11.
Right.
The same as your brother's number, right? So we're creating young broadcasters, Everett.
Of course, he saw
How old were you when I first met you in the broad? Were you 11?
No, I was 15. I was at Wando as a journalism student. So, yeah, and that was 30 years ago, Dino. How about that?
That's Alston finding Williams to the outside. That penalty put him way behind the sticks. That's 1st and 22 from the 34.
Michael Owens, the linebacker. I've called his name several times tonight. Doing a great job of really not allowing this play to develop. So, also great pursuit from the Bishops. All right, now help me out here, Dean. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong.
Who do you got?
Big guy, number 70.
Marcaci.
Yeah, Marcaci.
And I say that confidently.
Pen. I have to make sure I get that
Could be
pronunciation.
Marcaci. Well, we'll just keep on rolling along. Got a man in motion. Alston's going to hold on to the ball, and he's going to flip it to the outside. Here comes Nelson. Oh. Nelson's going to roll over his own guy. That is number 3 on the outside, Eldon Samuel Wells. Thought we were going to have a block in the back called. Doesn't get it.
That RPO, and again, you see a situation where if he just kind of is a little more patient, allows his blocker to kind of set it up for him, he probably can bounce that outside and come up with a big run. But wasn't patient enough. That's why we'll give the tackle to Jaron McCoy, who's the first Bishop there to greet him.
Back to the veer look. Alston going to hand it off to Nelson. Nelson's going to sweep to the outside, going to cut it back in. Really nice job there by number 15, Drew Owens, to send that play back to the inside. He comes up favoring his left shoulder, but they're going to force a 4th and about 6.
You're right, Dean. You never want to let that guy get to the outside of you. You want to make him turn back in where the help is coming from, which is your teammate. So give credit to Drew Owens. Should be credited with the tackle because of his smart play. That allowed his teammates to come up with the assists.
All right, let's check downstairs to wait for this punt. Trooper Bob standing by with some special guests.
Yeah, Dean, it's a beautiful night down here on the football game. We've got Jason Christopher with Synovus, and we also got Caitlin with Low Country Food Bank. Jason, we got the PB&J Blitz. I'm craving a peanut butter jelly right now with some grape jelly right now.
Absolutely.
Why is it so important for Synovus to give back to the community?
Well, it's as an organization, it's just important that we give back to the communities that we serve. And really, what better way than the Low Country Food Bank and some of our less fortunate. And really, with the PB&J and Timberland High School, they really stepped up. They collected about 160 pounds of PB&J. That's about 850 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So it's really going to make a huge impact. So we're just proud to be a part of it.
Excellent. Caitlin, there's not just a need during the holidays for food. Some families rely on it every single day, right?
Yes, hunger really is a 365-day problem. Of course, we all think about it during the holidays, but it really is an everyday issue.
All right. Well, Synovus, we got a check here.
Yes, absolutely.
For $250 for the PB&J Blitz.
And again, Synovus Bank PB&J Blitz Food Drive. That money goes to Timberland High School. Congratulations to them for collecting the most PB&J.
I'm telling you, that is America's pastime, much like baseball. If you give me peanut butter and jelly with a glass of milk, I am as happy as
you can be.
Dabo Sweeney at the top of the hill. That's happy.
Yes.
Speaking of happy, and I know you're.
Speaking of very unhappy, is Bishop England offense starting back inside the 5-yard line again. It's going to be Michael Long to the outside, going to split it to the outside, going to pick up a nice block on the outside by Claire. He's going to pick up a first down and a huge play to get them out from the shadows of the goalpost.
How about that stiff arm at the end of the run? A great run by Mr. Long of Bishop England, able to get to the outside, and there you see just the stiff arm to push the defender down to the ground. A big play, and now Bishop England has a little breathing room instead of being inside their own 5-yard line.
Well, there you see the value of Long. We talked about him. See if he can get pumped up. Blitz from the outside. Long's going to take it back inside. He's got plenty of room to move. He's got one guy to beat. Doesn't beat him. A nice tackle on the play by number 14. That's James Alston, the quarterback.
Almost a touchdown saving tackle, and now it seems like Bishop England offensively, they're starting to get into a groove. Mr. Long is starting to kind of feel his way out now, getting into some of those open lanes and coming up with some big carries. Think about it, Dean. That's almost about 30 yards just on 2 plays.
29 yards in 2 plays for number 22.
And leading rusher for Bishop England this season.
They're going to give it to him again. Nope. Going to hold on to it and just eat it. It's going to be about a 5-yard loss for Cam Costa.
Omari Jenkins there on the stop, as well as our good friend, Mr. Moultrie, Sam Moultrie. It looked like there was some confusion there, whether he didn't know whether he wanted to hand it off, or as we take a look at the replay from the previous play, the nice run by Long that got the Bishops up to the 30-yard line. Of course, on the last play, it looks like they lost about 4, Dean. Just a little miscommunication.
5:42 on the clock right now. Long with 315 yards so far in those 2 games. Ran for 194 last week against Philip Simmons. 2 touchdowns, also recovered a fumble and returned that for a touchdown as Costa looks back, goes across, looks to fake it, not going to fake it. Going to be a big sack. That's number 51 on the play, Jamal Mckinney.
Yeah, and he was trying to get the ball to Marinero and just couldn't quite do it. Not the situation there. If you can't get it, you just want to throw it out of bounds and kind of obviously keep that distance for 3rd down. But what you cannot do in that situation is take the sack, and that's unfortunately what Costa did.
Yeah, it was minus 12, going to make it 3rd and about 25 now from the 15-yard line. Jamal McKinney, no strangers to sacks. He's had 3 already this season. He had 20 sacks in the last 2 years. Give him another one right there. Costa back with a whole lot to do. Going to make a safe pitch to Long to the outside. Picks up a nice block. He's going to cut it back upfield. He's going to come up about 5 yards short, but a heck of a run. Great play scheme by the Bishop England offense.
And a good job that time by Costa getting rid of the ball as soon as he could. As you can see, didn't have a lot of time there. Just kind of got it out there into the hands of Long, and Long able to come up with the big run. A good block outside by the receiver there, Bishop England, to kind of free him up. But unfortunately, he's going to come up about 6 yards short. So the Bishops, once again, will have to punt it away to Timberland.
That's DeFazio punting, gets it away. A high kick. Richardson's going to back away, going to have his guys. He's going to pick it up actually at the 30-yard line. He's going to break a tackle, take it out to 35 before taken down. That is at the bottom of that pile. This is number 35, William Anderson, the linebacker. All right, we are stuck at 7-0. Been that way since Jalen Richardson's touchdown. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Stars and Stripes, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Four minutes left in the second quarter. Timberland takes over possession, 1st and 10 from their own 35 right now. Let's go down the sidelines. We have our David Ehlers Law Office's Educator Spotlight. Bob Barris has our special guest.
That's right, Dean. I'm here with LaShonda Reed. She's the assistant principal and athletic director for Timberland. Ms. Reed, you got the school year started a couple weeks ago. How's everything running at Timberland?
Everything is going very well for us here at Timberland. I'm excited to announce that we have 2 brand new programs here at Timberland this year. The first is a partnership with W International and a welding program that we've just recently started here at the school. We have several students who are excited about being a part of the program, and we're looking forward to hopefully producing some employees for W International at some point in their careers.
Excellent. I see a lot of faculty out here, such as yourself, supporting the students, especially the athletes. How important is that to you?
Oh my, it is very, very important. It does my heart so much pleasure to see the number of returning alumni from Timberland High School. We have the class of 99 here tonight. We also have the class of 1989 who is celebrating their 30th reunion for this area, as well as the class of 1970 who is here to celebrate with us tonight and cheer on the Wolves as we take on the Bishops.
All right. There you go. There you have it, Dean. We got a couple minutes left in the half. So before the half, we're going to watch that from the sidelines. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much. Yeah, I visited with some of those recent alumni, and I can't remember the school. I think it may have been Rockville High School. I don't think that's right, but that was the school before like Macedonia was built out here.
Okay.
But they were awesome talking to them, and then they had St. Stephen. I believe that was the class of 1989. And they know how to tailgate here. I said it before the game. I mean, you got ribs, you got chicken, you got beef.
Not really many hot dogs out there.
There's not many.
It's like Sunday dinner out there in the old parking lot. Just a good time and just good fellowship. And that's what you kind of get out here in these small communities. Friday night, everybody wants to support the high school.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line after a couple runs by Alston and also Nelson. Timberland's going to want a timeout here as Art Craig kind of looks back behind him. It was interesting talking with Coach Craig this week. He said, this team, more than a lot of them, he has had so much fun. He said last year lost a lot of seniors. He said this is one of the hardest working teams he's ever had. He's had 6 kids who are seniors now that have been starters since their sophomore year. This is his 32nd year of coaching. He said it's just a good group to be around. And a lot of that is because, like you just said, you have this small community, and this is what takes place. But he said he knew this group would be a little bit different because he had 8 to 10 kids come out, work out in the spring. But you got to understand, I mean, this is a pretty big county. If you think about Bishop England being in Berkeley County.
Right.
So from driving over from Bishop England here, it's about an hour and 20-minute drive. So pretty big county. But he said, these kids don't live right around the corner from this school. They've got to travel quite a bit of distance. So the commitment that he saw was really off the chart. And because of the senior leadership, because, he goes, I can talk to these kids like adults. There's not much pampering going on. He said because they respond. Alston fakes it to the inside, slips, going to keep his feet. He's going to go deep downfield. And that's in and out off the foot of Nelson.
Yeah, Michael Owens there with the coverage. Surprised he didn't get like a face guarding there. And actually, Dean, we can't see it on the replay, but he had a wide receiver streaking down the middle, but he couldn't get it to him because he kind of slipped and fell in the backfield. But, the Bishops catch a break again. That's the second time tonight that the Bishops have allowed a Wolf to get behind them, but Timberland not able to connect on the pass.
Really impressed with the way Alston throws the ball. He's thrown a couple really nice balls tonight. A little short on the one to Richardson early, but he had connected again for the touchdown as they go inside with Matt the Splat. He's got room to run. He's going to pick up 13 on the gain.
That's the old Vair play. Picked up about 13, as you mentioned, Dean. And Williamson now really starting to get into a groove offensively as well as this Timberland offense.
Walking up the stands, the press box, I stopped and said hello to a couple Timberland fans. I said, do you have a son who plays here? And they said, we do. And I said, and his name would be? And they said, Matt Williamson. And I said, fantastic. He's being looked at by Coastal Carolina. North Carolina A&T as well. Has got some interest. Alston back in the pocket, going to go down again. and he's going to have the pass. And I agree with you. I agree with you on the last play and probably that play. Michael Owens, it looked like he face guarded him.
Yeah, and Art Craig's got his hands up like, what do we need to do to get a pass interference? So he's not even turning around to look for the ball.
That's Richardson down the right side streaking. I would say Art Craig's probably got an argument again.
It's about the third time tonight, so Owens might want to just back up just a little bit.
Oh, now there is a flag that was thrown down by the 20-yard line.
Okay.
So they did call it.
We just did not see it. Maybe the glare off of the lights at the stadium, but again, Owens doing a great job, but he just needs to probably turn his head around and make an attempt to at least find the ball, but to simply face guard, I believe they're going to call that every single time.
At 15 yards, going to set them up 1st and 10 from about the 28-yard line. A minute 40 on the clock. They would love to score. And there's the talk about Nelson. I said it earlier. I watched him against Stratford, some of the film, and he absolutely loves to lay people out.
Yeah, Abdu and also McCoy of Bishop England right there to meet him. You got to give credit to this BE defense, Dean. They are not backing down. They are going head-to-head with this Timberland offense and doing a great job of trying to keep these guys in front of them.
They're going to hand it off to Nelson. He's got Williamson to the outside to give him the block. He's going to follow it all the way around, get past a couple of defenders, head to the end zone, come up 2 yards short as he's run out of bounds.
And that's how you utilize your teammates and allow your blocking to work for you. You just have to be patient, let those guys get out in front of you, and simply follow them to the end zone. So great blocking there, as you can see on Sammy Gress, and able to turn the corner, tiptoe down the sideline, and finally brought down by William Anderson of Bishop England.
They will spot it about the 3-yard line. So another nice run by Nelson. You talk about running back combos in the Low Country, and I'll take Williamson and Nelson at the top of that list right now. As they set up tight again, Alston over center. Somebody wants a timeout. They're going to give it to Bishop England. With about a minute left in the game, Timberland looking to take a 2-touchdown lead before the half.
I think John Canny wanted his defense just a chance to kind of catch their breath and get ready and hopefully keep Timberland out of the end zone. The Wolves, they still have 2 timeouts left, a minute left on the clock. So if you're John Canny, so you want to hold them to a field goal attempt if you can and just keep them out of the end zone.
John Canny, the one problem he had with his team that he has seen so far this year was tackling. And he said it's something we have to work on. And I have not seen a problem with it tonight. I think they played good defense.
Oh, absolutely. But the one thing you can't teach is speed. Either you have it or you don't have it. And on the plays that Timberland's been able to get a huge chunk of yards, they've just been out-athleted and able to get into space and come up with big plays.
BE with 13 penalties last week. That's something else that Candy said he's got to work on. It's just being sloppy. As Alston's going to get back up in center to the 3-yard line. 1st and goal. Nelson on the move. Alston looks like he pitched it off to Nelson, and Nelson scoots in. Nice play. Good call by Art Craig. Nelson deserved that touchdown after his effort that series.
Yeah, Alston almost became another blocker for him. He just kind of flipped it to him and allowed him to say, hey, follow me into the end zone, and that's exactly what he did and went untouched. That's the 2nd touchdown of the night for the Wolves.
Really nice job by Jamari Nelson on that drive. Even better job by the offensive line of Timberland sealing off, giving him a gap. Big Sam Moultrie's going to boot that one through.
No, they're going to say no good. A little hesitation there, Dean.
Sam's hands were up like he thought it was good.
So let's take an end zone look.
Check it out. I don't remember the last time we saw a straight-on kicker in high school football.
And he's got a decent leg on him, Dean. I mean, he's getting it well.
If you look at the 20-yard line right now, Art Craig has got a finger pointed at the back judge. Sam Moultrie is his bodyguard to the left. Now they're arm in arm. Well, he just wanted to make sure that You had it right.
I guess Sam saying, Coach, it just went over the uprights.
He kicked it extremely high. So 13-0 game right now.
Yeah, it's not many, like you said, dead-on kickers, and you don't see many defensive linemen that are extra point kickers as well in high school football, college football, and, of course, definitely not at the professional level. Although Moultrie, he kind of resembles Sebastian Janikowski.
Stop it.
Except Sebastian was a big guy with a big leg that could, kick the ball with ease.
Short kick by Jenkins, going to take by Long. He's going to go to the left sideline. He's going to be taken out of bounds by number 8, Jalen Jefferson. Going to be taken out about the 45-yard line. So with 50 seconds left, it's going to give him an opportunity here.
Take a look here.
Very easy. Nice stroke by Sam Moultrie.
It looked like at the end of that run, Dean, the Bishops wanted a late hit. You saw Long asking the officials for it. Also John Caney, the head coach, trying to get that extra 15, but still great field position, Dean, with 50 seconds left.
Bishop England offensive line, if they're going to throw the ball, they need to give them a little bit of protection here. Looks like it's going to be an offsides on Bishop England. Talk about the sloppy. That's what John Caney was talking about. 13 penalties last week.
The Bishops come in with a record of 2-0. Defeated Baptist Hill to open the season 31-12. And, of course, week 2, Dean, no one played because of Hurricane Dorian. And then they came back with a very impressive victory last week against Philip Simmons, 27-7. And the Bishops still, Dean, have yet to play a home football game this season over at Jack Caney Stadium.
It'll be 2nd and 15 here. See if they decide to throw it or just run out the clock. They will get the ball back to start the third quarter. So it looks like they'll be happy just running out the clock here. 42 seconds and that short handoff to Long.
And the way that Long's been running the football here in the first half, Caney hoping that maybe he could pop off another long run.
Well, we've got Premier Week coming up on ABC News 4 starting Monday at 8 o'clock. Dancing with the Stars. Can you dance, Everett?
Absolutely.
10 o'clock, The Good Doctor. The Tuesday, you got the Connors, Bless This Mess. That's a new time. Mixed-ish, Blackish, Emergency at 10 o'clock. And, of course, Who Doesn't Love the Goldbergs? Awesome show. And then Modern Family at 9 as BE goes back to the run game. And then Thursday, we got Grey's Anatomy. 10 o'clock, How to Get Away with Murder. Great lineup of shows for ABC and ABC News 4. Hope you join us starting Premier Week as we hit the double zeros. Timberland with a 13-0 lead. Behind the arm and the James Alston and the legs, Jamari Nelson. It is homecoming night here. Let's send it down to Trooper Bobby, standing by with Art Craig.
Yeah, Coach Craig, great game. You were up 13-0. You were up with less than a minute left. You put that extra score on the board. What adjustments do you make during halftime to get more points on the board?
Well, I mean, we've got to do a little better job on our interior linemen. We're not getting much out of our zone option read. But, our kids are playing hard. We got a lot of kids going both ways. And to be up 13-0, I'm pleased right now.
You're making great progress on defense. You held them with no points. Do you make any adjustments on defense?
Well, we got to cover that inside receiver a little bit. They're hurting us to the trips a little bit, faking the zone dive and hitting that inside guy. So we got to still play hard. They've got a great team and a great quarterback.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, there you have it. You heard it from the coach. Back to you guys upstairs.
All right. Like I said, it is homecoming here at Timberland High School. We come back. Our full halftime show, Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Stars and Strikes, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Timberland with a 13-0 lead on Bishop England after 24 minutes of football. Welcome to the Roper St. Francis Halftime Show. We understand that your health and those you love matter most. At Roper St. Francis, experience matters.
Margaret Stipa from the Ayler Law Offices. I know this is a special thing for you to present the Scholar Athlete week after week here on Friday Night Rivals.
Yeah, we love to be part of this scholarship and follow the student athletes throughout the season.
Why do you do it? Every year you guys have done it and re-upped every year. Why do you do it?
It's really rewarding to follow these scholar athletes throughout the school year and see their accomplishments and the decision-making process at the end when we choose our winner.
I know David is proud of it. Every year when he comes in, he gets to meet all the kids. I know it's something that he really enjoys doing.
Yeah, and last year was my first year being involved with the decision-making process, and we received so many strong applications. It's really difficult to choose just one winner.
That is Margaret Stipa with the Ayler Law Offices, and congratulations to this week's Scholar Athletes.
All right, Scott, thanks so much. Each week, David Ayler Law Offices and Writers Law Group is proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students select will have the opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. That's Jaron McCoy, Bishop England, GPA 4.70, also plays baseball. And that is Rebecca Lynn Martin from Timberland. Her GPA 4.696, cross country, also plays soccer. Check this out. Rebecca currently serves as the National Honor Society president, has been an active member for 3 years. She serves as the battalion commander of Timberland's Army JR Junior ROTC, responsible for providing direct leadership to more than 100 cadets. She also participates in youth mentorship programs, community cleanups. Congratulations to both Rebecca and Jaron, making a difference on the field as well as off. Welcome back to the Roper St. Francis Halftime Show. We understand that your health and those you love matter most. At Roper St. Francis, experience matters. So do all of our great sponsors. They matter as well. Tonight's trophy provided by RKO Total Graphics in downtown Charleston. RKO, thanks for being a part of Friday Night Rivals. Here we go. Here we go. Are you ready, E-Dog?
Yes,
from around
sir.
the country. Northern Knights, Riverside Pirates. I have no idea where that is.
Pick your. Oh, what a catch and a spin move, but he's not down, Dino. Juking and jiving all the way down to inside the 25. What a move.
Excellent. Greenville, South Carolina, Malden and Greer.
Oh, my. Just stop running forward. There you go. Just give up. Give up to you're not going to catch him.
When was the last time you ran 98 yards in one sprint?
Never.
Take it out to Chattanooga. That's a scramble. And then a launch.
Bam, right there.
Good block on the backside.
Just the blocking has definitely improved at the high school level.
From Las Vegas. Oh, I don't know if he got a piece of that ball, but that ball went backwards and received and advanced.
That's a lucky
From
bounce.
Johnstown, Tennessee.
Oh, man, someone just got mossed with the catch over the falling defender.
From Nashville, roll left, scramble right.
That's
oh
a
my
big
God,
defensive
J.J. Watt's
end.
coming at me. That was pure, absolute survival.
That was J.J. Watt chasing Doug Flutie, it looked like.
Oh, J.J. Watt got him on that one.
He got him on the backside. Yeah, come here, little
game.
kid.
That's 47-40, Ravenwood over Pulaski Academy.
Wow. I mean, how tall is that defensive end?
You know what, E-Dog? Another night without. Oh, we've got a homecoming queen on the field. No.
Is that first runner up?
Let's see. Yeah, we'll give this a go here. But again, another package of highlights not representative of the Low Country.
Maybe it's the guys in the truck. They're not
No.
submitting it.
It's corporate. We call them out every Friday night. And I'm going to get a call one day because they don't have Darren's number. They don't have Everett's email. But we got to get some Low Country highlights. Come on.
So we've not had.
Let's see here.
We'll come up with the play here in the second
Looks like
half.
we've got the first two runners up here. About 10 minutes on the clock. This was an extended halftime because it's homecoming. They just haven't had a whole lot of home football games the rest of the year.
We only
Here
got
we go.
3 left.
We got a drum roll. This is the big moment. Oh, that's midfield. That's a 50-yard line homecoming queen. How about that? Her Majesty.
In the right place at
Right.
the right time to, I think it was Alyssa. I didn't catch the last name.
I don't know, but
congratulations.
we got some tears. That's awesome. There you go. Our Friday Night Rivals' very first homecoming queen.
With the principal and the assistant principal and the first and second runner-ups. A great night here in St. Stephen's.
We're back. 13-0. Timberland over Bishop England. Second half kickoff. Coming up in about 8 minutes. Francis halftime show. We understand that your health and those you love matter most. At Roper St. Francis, experience matters. We're giving you an opportunity to vote for tonight's Rockstar Cheer of the Night. Log on to abcnews4.com/poll, abcnews4.com/poll, and vote for either of tonight's cheer squads, Timberland or Bishop England. Cast a vote for the Rockstar Cheer of the Night. Results coming up later in our ball game, a ball game that starts in about 5 minutes. We're back, getting you ready for the third quarter. Welcome back to Timberland High School, the Roper St. Francis Healthcare halftime show just about to wrap up. It is a 13-0 Timberland game, sparked by a long touchdown pass from James Alston to Jalen Richardson. Right now, let's go down to the field. We've got Trooper Bob standing by with Bishop England head coach John Canty.
Yeah, Coach Canty, you're only down 13-0. You still got the other half of the game to go. What adjustments do you make for the second half?
Well, we got to be strong going the line, offensively and defensively. We got to be able to hold their offensive line up so we can make plays. Defensively, we just got to get to the ball. offensively we've got to protect, and if we give Cam time, he's going to be able to move the ball around and get the ball to our players. But that's the biggest thing. We got to control. We got to get back control of the offensive line, defensive line.
We saw some penalties from positive yards into negative yards. What'd you tell your team about that?
Well, it's all about executing and being sharp. And we looked very sloppy last week with having a week off with the hurricane, and it kind of is transitioning here, but we're doing a whole lot better, and we just got to get a little bit sharper. And as it goes, week after week, we'll get sharper and sharper, and we just got to be able to do what we're supposed to execute.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Hey, I'm smelling all this food out here. No one's left the stadium. Everyone's still getting back in their seats from halftime, so back up to you guys.
Told you, man. This is the place to be on a Friday night. Good football, great food. Talking about greatness, take a look at this picture. E-Dog, I'll just let you explain.
How about this? Back in my younger playing days, you can see the stud on the back row top left, number 39. That would be myself. And to the far right, number 7, the head coach of the Battling Bishops, John Caney. So we talked about it. We've been friends for a long time, grew up playing in recreation football and really all the way up to high school. He went to Bishop England, I went to Wando. But just some great memories and probably arguably the greatest recreation Mount Pleasant football team ever in the history of football.
What about number 49, David Michelle?
David Michelle was a star. Actually,
is that
he's
Charlie
related.
Michelle's?
Now, there's a lot of
father?
Michelles. There's like a Mark Michelle. There's a David Michelle. There's like 3 or 4.
How many Germans are there?
There's a lot. There's a lot of us. As you can see in this picture, Chad German, Ron German, myself.
Who's the coaches?
That would be, let's see, that's my uncle, Don German, over the right, over John Caney, and then my cousin, Terry Bryant, over my shoulder. So it was a family affair. Actually, Ron German, number 30, his son is the running back over at James Allen right now, Little Ron. So, yeah, so it's a family affair. I'm gonna go with probably 8 or 9. Look by the size. I don't think I've been that small. Well, probably ever since then, Dean.
Probably
but
not.
Great times, and just glad to see my good buddy John Caney back on the sidelines where he deserves to be.
Absolutely. All right, these scores from other games around the Low Country on our MUSC Youth Collaborative leaderboard. Ashley Ridge with a 20-7 lead over James Island, Fort Dorchester, and Berkeley. This is probably as close as Fort Dorchester's been played at the half. Maybe since last year when Wando had them tied. West Ashley over Wando right now at the half, 10-7. Cane Bay and Somerville sitting at 14 apiece.
How about that? Berkeley giving Fort Dorchester a run. They've really done a great job right down the street in Moncks Corner.
Yeah, Randy Robinson has put a nice team together. We'll see Berkeley a little bit later. Got a big slate of football games tomorrow right here on ABC. Once you get up, get you a nice, good breakfast buffet working. Sit down, watch a little Big Ten football, Michigan State at Northwestern. And 3:30 is our Central Florida at Pitt game. And then 7:30, the eyes of Texas are upon the Cowboys.
Now the question is,
Oklahoma State at Texas.
Will the Oklahoma State man be in the top deck at the Texas Stadium or where?
No. We'll let Oklahoma State sit like in the middle section.
Gotcha. I like it. You did LSU.
Take a look at some interesting rankings this week, brought to you by South Carolina Prep Media Football. Class 4A, Spartanburg is the number 1 team in the state, followed by Fort Dorchester. Goose Creek receiving votes. When I watched that new coach a couple of years ago, it was very clear that he had something brewing at Goose Creek. In Class 3A, Luke Dowdy, who's a South Carolina commit, the quarterback, has Myrtle Beach at number 1. Berkeley is at number 9. And then Class 2A, there's Timberland, the Wolves, right behind Dillon. But it's interesting. Those are only 3 teams out of about 40 from the Low Country that are ranked in statewide.
Yeah, a little. I don't know when you look at the talent around. Obviously, a lot of talented players, coaches here in the Low Country, but not getting a lot of respect around the state. So, as they say, Dean, that's why you play the games, and you just got to hope that maybe by the end of the season you can see these teams in the playoffs. The Low Country can make some noise.
Tonight at 11 o'clock, join Scott Eisberg and Greg Rosowski for a complete wrap-up of the best local high school football games across the Low Country. Scotty opens up his arms, welcomes you in every night on ABC News 4, covering sports like nobody I've seen in quite a long time. So Scotty and Greg going to bring you the action tonight from our studios there in Mount Pleasant. That kicks off at about 11:10 after this, so you can just switch off of my TV. This game will probably be done around maybe 10:30 tonight.
And hands down, the best coverage in terms of high school sports. Greg and Scotty do such a great job. And, you know, Dean, they put as much attention on the SCISA and the 1A and, you know, 8-man football as they do the 5A. So congratulations, and just a job well done by the sports department over there at ABC News 4.
Well, you know, to be honest with you, I've covered high school sports since 1987, covered it in Texas for 3 years. I've covered it here for quite a few years, and that's one of the great things about doing these games on Friday nights, as well as having the opportunity to come out here and showcase 2A teams. People will be like, man, you're driving all the way to Timberland today. I'm like, yeah, but you don't get it, right? You've never been to Timberland for a high school football game. You need to come. You see young players, you see kids that never really find the spotlight, and all of a sudden you walk away going, man, that Jamari Nelson kid's really good. That Jalen Richardson guy can play ball, right? Matt Williamson's really good. Bishop England needs to be good in this third quarter as they make a nice run. That's Quinn DeWitt taking it out to the 30-yard line. Nice hard run by DeWitt. And see what John Canny draws up here as we get going in the third quarter. Again, down 13-0. Missed point after. And makes the 13-0 game.
In the first half, Dean, the Bishops had the most success on the offensive side when they were able to kind of move Costa outside of the pocket and get him throwing on the run. So let's see if they continue that. They also had a little bit of success running the football with Michael Long, but I don't think they'll be able to run tackle to tackle. They've got to get on the outside and make some plays there.
Acosta stands back at his 25-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 30. First play of the third quarter. He's got a man in motion. He's going to pitch it out quick to Long. Gets a nice block on the outside. He's going to turn it to the 40 onto the 45-yard line and then driven out of bounds. Plus 15 to start the third quarter.
How about the block by Charlie Michelle to free up Long? We'll see it right there. Block that kind of freed Long and allowed him to turn the corner and come up with a big play. And that play has worked well for Bishop England all night long. And if I'm not mistaken, Dean, that's the first time, maybe all night, that we've seen a big gain on first down by the Bishops.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 now for the 44. Long had a nice series in their last possession in the second quarter. Another quick pitch. Bad hands. Ball's on the ground. Picked up. And that's,
tackled by the 25-yard line. And he's going to be hating himself for that one, Dean.
52, Jamal Jenkins.
Got too excited, saw nothing but green grass, and here just a tough pitch. And notice that's not Long back there. That's actually Marinero on
Well, I'll tell you what, you did talk about maybe it was a bad pitch, but I'm going to tell you, Jamal McKinney blew up that play. McKinney was the one that created the chaos, caused that fumble, and ironically at halftime it was McKinney who was presented his state championship ring from the spring when he was the state shot-putting championship.
So a bad break for the Bishops, a good break for the Wolves. It looked like it was going to be a promising drive, and now Timberland takes over with outstanding field position.
They're going to cut it inside to Richardson. One play after the turnover, cash it in for number 11, his second touchdown of the game.
So this time they flipped it to the left side. We saw that play on the second touchdown, and again, you just flip it back, and then you become a blocker, and you just kind of run behind the big offensive line of Timberland. And once again, Richardson goes into the end zone untouched. And slowly but surely, this game is getting away from Bishop England.
The second touchdown on the night for Richardson makes it a 19-0 game as Sam Moultrie looks to cash in on the PAT.
Whoa. Well, looked like the holder, because Alston had a hard time getting the ball down on the tee. I think that kind of threw a man, Sam Moultrie, off, and that's why, as you see here, kind of like delayed, finally puts it on his shoe. It just wasn't fluid. So
drilled it right into the back of number 66, Jamari Johnson. Hey, what did I do to deserve that? So one play after the turnover, that turnover really created by Jamal McKinney with a big hit.
And you know, Dean, it seems like the blocking scheme on those options, something's going on, because guys, defensive ends, they're coming in unblocked, and that's what's causing the disruption. So maybe if they can maybe slide the blocking scheme a little over to the side that they're running to allow Costa at least 3 or 4 steps so that he can make a clean pitch and not have to worry about seeing that defender right in his face.
You know, that's something the Bishop England offensive coordinator and their offensive staff had to look at in the first quarter, the first half during halftime, but not able to make that adjustment as the kick goes to Claire. Claire's going to take it up the middle, drive it out to the 40-yard line. A tackle made there by number 2, Roman Watford. Very impressive-looking linebacker, sophomore. And that's the interesting part about this Timberland defense.
And if you're Bishop England offensively, you really can't afford to have long, sustained drives. We know Timberland, their offense, they can basically run out an entire quarter if they want to. So not only is Bishop England going to have to score, but they're going to have to score quickly and allow themselves enough possessions here in the second half to try and overcome this 19-point deficit.
They will take over at the 40-yard line. Looks like Marinero now in at quarterback. He's going to fake it left, take it across the middle. He's going to lose 3 yards. Look across the sideline to see if Cam Costa is being looked at by a trainer or not.
I'm not seeing him as well. Maybe he took a blow on that last drive. But you're right, Dean. I don't see a number 2 anywhere on the sideline.
Marinero back in the shotgun. Going to take one snap. He's going to look right, get a throw right. In and out of the hands. Looked to be number 18, Jaron McCoy. Not sure if he would have taken that in if that had been a first down anyway. But I think if you look all the way across the sideline, almost to the 45-yard line, there's Costa just comes up off the bench.
Good to see him.
It looks like he's going to throw a little bit here.
You know, that is one of the negatives, unfortunately, of 2A football. You got a lot of guys playing both ways, and there absolutely is no depth at all.
Another bad snap, and it's McKinney picking it off. Midair, he's going to race in for the 38-yard line. Just like that. The guy who blows up the play for their turnover the last series picks this ball out of the air and to put Timberland up 25-0.
Yeah, just a high snap. Marinero not able to come down with it cleanly. Just a bad break for the Bishops. It goes right into the hands of Jamal McKinney, the junior defensive lineman, and he rumbles and stumbles and gets to the end zone to push the lead to 25 for the Wolves.
So that is 2 touchdowns, less than a minute apart. And things have unraveled quickly for John Candy's team as Timberland goes for 2 here. Alston to Nelson. Nelson going to take it off the side. Nice. McCoy tries to put a hit on it, but it kind of rolls off. So 2-point conversion, going to make it 27-0. And again, that's with 10:34 left.
And to make matters worse, it almost would have been better if he just let it go.
There you go, 27-0. Timberland behind 2 big defensive turnovers. We're back after this. All right, welcome back to Between the Pines, where Timberland has come out of the locker room and exploded for 2 quick touchdowns thanks to their defense. It is 27-0 now with 10:34 in the third. As Bishop England fields the ball at the 15-yard line, going to take it up the middle. And that is going to be number 3, Sammy Gress, taking it out to the 35-yard line. And this is where becoming a head coach is tough, right? Right. You got to be able to rally this team and to say there is still 22 minutes of football left to be played.
You know, and in this situation where you can't necessarily play the scoreboard, it's a long season for the Bishops and also for Timberland. If you're John Caney right now, yeah, your team's down 27-0, but it's still an opportunity to better yourself and try to find some positives that can come out of this game as you get ready for the rest of your season. So keep playing. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Just keep trying to execute.
Costa back in the game. He's going to hand it off to Long inside. Long's going to weave his way for about 4 yards.
You know, Dean, when I look at the size of Costa, that previous snap that was returned for a touchdown, you know, that ball probably hits Costa maybe right in the chest. He's so considerably taller than the backup, and I wonder if maybe the center just forgot to make an adjustment in terms of his shotgun snap.
Quite possibly. Costa, big kid, seeing him down on the field.
They've had some big quarterbacks here. I think of Danny Krogan, who's now a coach for the Bishops. Quarterbacks with some good size.
Costa back. He's got a guy wide open. Underthrows him a little bit, but a great adjustment made down the left side by Jaron McCoy.
Yeah, did a nice job of waiting for it and coming back to the football. And you got to think if Costa can get him down the field and lead him, that would be an easy touchdown. As you mentioned, underthrew it, but still a completion and a big play for the battling Bishops.
Yeah, certainly needed a play like that. Some positive energy, positive yardage.
And the deepest penetration of the night for this Bishop England offense.
Be a 30-yard play. Costa now pitches it quick to Long. Long to the outside. He's going to pick up 4 yards on the play, running hard.
And you just add up the numbers, Dean. Bishop England has 2 guys trying to block 4, and that's just tough. You know, it's tough enough because of the speed and the athleticism of Timberland. But, yeah, trying to get 2 guys to block 4 is not going to work in your favor the majority of the times unless Long can make a couple of those guys miss.
27-0 here. 2 quick touchdowns in the third quarter. It'll be interesting to see how Art Craig plays this with some of his two-way guys. Maybe one more score on the board before he starts rotating out. Costa looks left, rolls left, falls down at about the 35-yard line, and a loss of 7.
And Jalen Jefferson will be credited with the sack, but he really did nothing. I mean, he just came across the line and touched the guys. So, again, got guys coming unblocked. As you see the missed block there by the offensive lineman.
It looked like Timberland had maybe jumped off sides, really messed up the rhythm of that play. So now you're looking at third and about 15 now from the 27-yard line or 37-yard line. Check that, make it the 34.
And now it looks like Marinero has one-on-one coverage to the bottom of the field. So let's see if they can take advantage of it.
He's going to look left. He's going to throw left. Overthrows his target down the left side. No question the kid can throw the ball. And a flag comes down at the 10-yard line.
That'll be a break for the Bishops if it is indeed pass interference.
Sullivan Clare, number 1.
And a good attempt by Costa, but you got to maybe take a little bit off.
They called it pass interference. I guess my question, if I'm Art Craig, was that a catchable ball?
Yeah, and that was well overthrown. Maybe they're saying because of the infraction that slowed the receiver down, but John Caney does not care why or how the flag was thrown. He'll take that automatic first down, which will allow the drive to continue. See Danny Krogan there in the middle, former, I think the only Bishop England quarterback to beat Timberland in 15 tries.
Yep. Costa now 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line, going to fake inside And absolutely blown up. What did we say at the beginning of the game about Big Sam?
Big Sam is getting it done. He's living in the backfield. I wasn't surprised. I mean, almost like he's a running back. He's in the backfield so often, and he just cannot be blocked. And Sam Moultrie kicking extra points, handling kickoff duties, and doing a great job of causing havoc in the backfield of Bishop England.
Sam Moultrie, just Art Craig called him the run stopper. I don't think anybody blocked him on that play. Easy to be a stopper when you come free to it. Costa looks left, going to go across. Going to miss McCoy. Big number 18, Jamal Williams, defensive back there, with a nice read on the play.
That's a dangerous pass there, because even if he does catch it, he's running into someone in the secondary that could absolutely light him up. So a dangerous pass, forces a third down. You have to think, Dean, this is 4-down territory. Field goals are really not going to do anything for you.
Yeah, absolutely. 3rd and 13 from the 23, long in the backfield. He's in a clip box there. He's going to go across the middle to about the 18-yard line to Eddie Marinero. Going to be far short of the first down, and let's see what John Canty wants to do as he's overlooked walking the sideline. He's going to bring his field goal team back out. About a 38-yard field goal by Nick DeFazio.
Now this one's just inside the right hash mark. Of course, on the last attempt, he was wide left. He had plenty of legs, so now maybe have the same swing of the leg, and it should be straight down the middle.
It's Claire on the hold. And as you said, that ball's up and good and took exactly the path you were talking about. So Bishop England on the board with 6:47 left, making a 27-3 game behind the leg of Nick DeFazio.
You know, those are the types of plays, Dean, that later on in the season, when Bishop England's in a close game and they need a field goal, those are the types of confidence-building kicks that hopefully will pay off later down the line.
It was interesting talking to John Canty on the phone this week. You know, he was talking a lot about losing a lot of practice time this year because of the heat and the wet bulb treatment. He said, you know, morning to the afternoon, I mean, they had 2 full pad practices a week usually. Went inside to use the wrestling room just to, you know, to be able to get some work going. And fans, we're giving you an opportunity to vote for that Rockstar Cheer of the Night as we take a look. Timberland now with 27% of the vote. Bishop England with 73%. If you don't like those results, you can log on to abcnews4.com/poll and vote for your team. We will find out the Rockstar Cheer of the Night, the finals, coming up later as BE kicks off. This one's going to go into the end zone. And I think that's one of the things Coach Canty was, you know, that's why he kind of welcomes this beautiful weather. Gives him an opportunity to get outside, to be able to get some work done. Certainly far more effective on the field than you are in the wrestling room.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that, Dean, because, you know, John and I were friends on social media, and it's kind of shocking, but earlier this week he actually made a post, might have been 2 days ago, basically saying this is something that we're not used to seeing. He said this is a rare occasion of full pad practice. So definitely, as you mentioned, the Bishop's not able to really get on the field and practice as much as they probably want to.
Flag thrown at about the 15-yard line. Illegal substitution is going to be the call on the Wolves, as it's number 18. Jamal Williams came off late. And I'm going to tell you something. The way Art Craig is, when you're up by 24 points, he wants to see his team mentally crisp. Those are the little things in film that he'll point out to say, just because we're up 24 doesn't mean we stop working. Williamson up front, he's not going to stop grinding. He goes all the way down to about the 23-yard line to pick up a 7.
And you know, the good coaches and the good programs, that's what they do. They try to obtain perfection. And so, yeah, you also, when you're up a lot of points, you don't want to develop bad habits. So the good ones coach all the way to the end, and that's how you become, or you go from being a good football team to a really solid football team, because you'll need that later on and especially into the playoffs.
So he gets positive yardage, about 2nd and 8 now from the 23, handoff inside again. Bishop England defense stepping up right there is number 54, Andrew Simmons, sophomore.
6'2", 210 pounds there to greet the ball carrier. And one thing we do know, Dean, is there's no quit in this Bishop England football team. They're going to play to the end, to the final whistle, and they're not going to give up. Solid defensive stop by BE.
Yeah, Simmons with the stop, and then able to bring him down by his feet after standing him up. It's about a 3rd and 5 now for this offense. James Alston, another great story we haven't really talked about tonight. Got to hand it off. Here comes that little sweep pitch to Richardson. He's going to go all the way down to the 40-yard line, pick up the first down, and a flag comes behind the play from the back judge. Let's see what it is.
Let's say Matthew Williamson with an outstanding block on the edge to kind of seal the defender, but let's see what the call is in the holding call against Timberland. You see the block was previous. All for naught, as that'll back up the Timberland offense.
They're pointing fingers if no one can quite figure out who it was.
Yeah, well, honestly, Dean, I didn't see it either. I saw the good block by Williamson, but somebody else must have had other ideas. And so what would have been a first down as we
Here
look
comes
again.
Richardson on the left side. Maybe it's Nelson up top. That's
There's
a clean
block.
hit.
Right.
That looks like a clean block there.
But still a very manageable 3rd down for Timberland.
Takes a first down off the board, make it 3rd and 3 now. From the 27, Nelson in motion. That's where the pitch goes. Nelson's going to take it inside. Nice hit initially. I think Nelson's able to move forward, though, to pick up the first down. About a 4-yard gain on the 3rd and 3.
Jaron McCoy there again to kind of fill that hole and kind of come up with a big stop. Almost held him without a first down, but give credit to Timberland that falling forward after the initial hit will allow the Timberland drive to continue.
But James Alston, the quarterback, played his sophomore season, started, and then tore his ACL, missed his entire junior year. So he's now back as the senior starter. Coming back for his last year, healthy, running this offense and running it very well. The handoff inside to Williamson as he picks up another 4 yards. But you think about it, coming back from an ACL injury, the opportunity to lead your team as a senior into your final year of high school.
Yeah, that's something special. And obviously he worked hard during his junior year to get back to this point to be that leader. And he's done a great job tonight for Art Craig and this Timberland offense. By the way, a nice stop by Nate Abdu, the senior linebacker for Bishop England.
2nd and 6 from the 35, 4:22 on the clock. Back to the veer again. Back to another pitch to Nelson. Nelson just going to take it to the inside and thrown back by about 4 white jerseys. On the bottom of that is number 15, Drew Owens.
And this is the typical Timberland offense. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. 3 yards, and before you know it, they have a first down. And I talked about it early in the 3rd quarter that you knew that Art Craig wanted to kind of essentially shorten this game and go on a long, sustained drive, and that's what they're doing right now.
Overcame a holding call on a first down play. Picked up a first down here. Now back to 3rd and short at the 40-yard line. Williamson inside. He's going to get it straight ahead and pick up the first down, and the flag comes from behind the secondary, which is usually a holding call.
I'm not really sure why the Timberland offensive line felt the need to grab and hold, as it is indeed against Timberland. I mean, Williamson, he's lining up so close to the quarterback that it's taken one step and he's already there. So I'm not sure if he even had enough time to hold because it happened so quickly, but they're going to say it was. So once again, another first down run negated by a penalty.
Big man Sam Moultrie comes out of the game. Looks like could be cramps, that right leg stretched out.
How about right there, 54. Tyreek Giles.
Is that 54 that coming in?
He's a sophomore.
Tyreek Giles, yep.
Tell you what, you run behind him, Dean. You guaranteed to get 3 or 4 yards every single time.
So Art Craig wants a timeout. I don't think he's necessarily talking to his team right now. He's asking them to move over to the right. He's taking a stroll. If you widen out that camera, he is in the middle of the field right now. He's just trying to get an explanation and He told him that he got a bear hug.
Well, I don't know if you saw it, Dean, but he quickly said trap. So I'm sure he's saying that's a trap play. Like, it's quick. So how can he even have time to hold, on a trap play? And they threw the flag on the right side of the line, and the play went to the left side of the line.
Right. Regardless of what it is, it's going to be 3rd and 8 now from about the 33-yard line as we come out of this timeout. But Art Craig absolutely loves what he has in his quarterback and his 2 running backs. And I asked him, I said, this is always a dangerous question to ask. You know this when you do basketball games with College Charleston. I was like, do you have the pieces? Do you have the pieces and what it would take to win another state championship? Because they won one in 2011, one in 2014. And he said at this level, 2A level, he said the biggest change that he's seen through the years is that everybody has athletes now.
Right.
He said if we stay healthy, everything falls into place. There are enough pieces. But he also mentioned that the level of coaching is much different now than it was 10 or 15 years ago.
And from what I've seen tonight, the only element or the only part that I could see Timberland needing to improve would be the passing game.
Jamari Nelson, hard runner down to the 40-yard line. And that play right there, that bear, when it opens it up and he's got Lyman out in front of him, it's just so – you watch Nelson run, and much like Williamson, it's almost like they're on skates.
You got misdirection. You got one going to the left, one coming back to the right. It's just a very difficult offense to defend. And you have to be very disciplined if you're on the defensive end, because if you over-pursue, Dean, that's going to lead to a big play for the offense.
So he gets just past the 40-yard line. I thought the referees were going to try to eyeball it from about 80 yards across the field, but they will not do that. They'll actually bring the chains from the far sidelines. They're on the BE sideline. But Coach Craig said, he goes, our motto here is just handle your business every day. And hard work gives you an opportunity to win. And he said he would be very disappointed if they at least don't make a run. He feels like they have the pieces. And from what we've seen, they certainly have the pieces to do that.
It looks like he's going to be just an inch or two short. So it'll be interesting to see. And I would have to think, if I'm Art Craig, I'm going for it. Bishop England really has not been able to stop Timberland all night long, especially with that, as I call it, belly blast or the veer to pick up just a simple half a yard. But Dean, as you get further in the playoffs and you go against those better teams like the Dillons and I think Lake City's another one that's in this division, everybody can do the same thing. Everybody has athletes. Everybody can run the football. It's usually the team that can throw it is probably the one that has a better chance of advancing.
And Dillon has been their bugaboo, has been their monster team they have lost to multiple times in the playoffs as they try to make their run. As we look at 4th, it seems to be very, very short. Alston's over center, quick snap, going to go off the left side. Going to go over Matt Williamson. Matt Williamson sets up behind Alston and beats him to the hole.
Yeah, that's just that quick first step of Williamson. Blocked his own guy, knocking Omari Jenkins in the back. But, yes, usually either Williamson blocking for Alston, or we've seen the play where Alston kind of flips it back to Williamson and leads him through the hole. So, when you're in the quarterback, no free passes here. You got to block as well.
Here's the other thing you can watch here. Keep an eye on that 30-second clock. Watch them milk that clock as they keep this drive moving. I looked for the clock, and I don't see it. So if you could start your stopwatch for me, that'd be awesome. Alston stepping back. He's going to go deep now. Shorts on it, but he's got another man out in front. They will not throw a flag. Nelson was open in the coverage. And that's number 10 on the play, Michael Owens.
I don't know if Art Craig is mad at the officials or mad, and I think he's giving the sideline judge an earful because once again, he just simply face guarding.
I'm not sure.
Poor Michael Owens. He's had a rough night tonight, but he's only had one flag, thrown on him.
Interesting call, but
that's the beauty of when you
so
run the
much
football.
For one to run the clock, right?
Right. Well, and so when you run the football at success, you're allowed to take those shots down the field.
2nd and 10 now from the 43. Williamson going to go straight up front, dives ahead for about 4 yards.
I mean, you kind of think about it, Dean. They can almost run the ball at will. So, when you have those pass plays, it's just really to keep the secondary honest and to let them know that if you need to throw the football, you can. But when you're picking up 5 yards every time you touch the ball, that's a recipe for success for Timberland.
You've got number 3, Eldon Samuel Wells, split top right. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield, Williamson and Nelson. Williamson's going to get it, but he's going to be stood up at the line. You're going to call this name again, Andrew Simmons.
Yeah,
the sophomore with another really nice stop.
Simmons was determined not to let him go, kind of held on for dear life until he could get some help from his teammates, and a big stop by Andrew Simmons, the sophomore defensive tackle for the Bishops.
Going to be 4th down. Now they will punt the ball with Jalen Richardson. It's going to be Sammy Gress back along with Jaron McCoy. A quick strike here on a return for a touchdown would be exactly what the doctor ordered. And if that face guard didn't make Art Craig happy, missing that offsides on Timberland's really, or the offsides on Bishop England's really going to make him angry as the ball's down at about the 15-yard line. Happened on the far side of the line. Looked like a BE player off that end jumped.
And you think about it, it was 4th down and 5, if I'm not mistaken. So that would have been an automatic first down for the Wolves.
There's a 9-play drive. Took a ton of time off the clock.
But fortunately for the Bishops, did not result in any points. And now let's see if this offense can generate their first touchdown of the night.
But a 5-minute drive after the field goal by BE. An improvising quarterback, Cam Costa, as long gets down to about the 4-yard line. Now Timberland's going to say, we've got the ball. I'm holding it right here in my hands. That's Jalen Richardson. His brother Jeremiah is right here. I mean, if he says he's got the ball, Jeremiah, does he have the ball? Yep, he said yep.
You have to be careful if you're Acosta on those pitches because it's like he's not even looking to run the football. So if the Wolves defense decides that, hey, you know what, let's fake like we're going to go to him and step back, they can intercept the ball out of the air.
Jeremiah is right. He had that ball before the knee hit the ground, before the whistle was blown for forward progress. BE keeps it. Costa fakes on the inside, looks to run, not going to run, going to be taken down by number 23. That's Omari Jenkins. That is the 13-year-old ninth grader.
And I got to think, if I'm Costa, I'm thinking, why do I keep seeing number 23 come unblocked? That's somebody you have to get a helmet on, and Costa a little slow getting up. What a big night from the 13-year-old Omari Jenkins.
As we run to the third quarter, scary as it may sound, one of the coaches said he's just learning how to play football. Timberland is in control of this football game. It is 27-3. Thank you so much for joining us Between the Pines, one of the best places to watch a high school football game. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Stars and Stripes, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Welcome back, everybody, to St. Stephen's, South Carolina. Timberland taking on Bishop England with a 24-point lead here as the Bishops face a 3rd and 10. We start the fourth quarter.
Costa's a little gimpy. Let's see if he can put some pressure on that foot.
Really nice throw. Even better catch by McCoy on the right sideline.
And, you know, that really has been open for Bishop England most of the night. Nice job by McCoy driving that defender back, then coming back to the back to make the catch right at the yard line. So good job by Bishop England.
So it looks like they're going to give it a first down. It looked like he had marked it a little bit short, but they are going to give him a 10-yard pass on that. It was 3rd and 10 and 15, so they'll set up 1st and 10 at the 25 now with 11:36 left. Costa looking back to the right side again. He's got soft coverage on the right side. McCoy's going to pick up another 10.
Yeah, just pitch and catch. Simple play from the Bishops, and they've had a lot of success. Now the key, if you're BE, is to keep this drive going and try to end it with some points. Again, you're probably, unless something crazy happens, you're probably not going to win this game tonight. But what you do here over the next 11 minutes could be huge for you as you go out through the rest of your season.
I don't mind telling you, we thought last week's game was kind of taken care of, and then we saw crazy stuff happen as Costa steps up, throws a pass a little bit high. Not sure if he was across the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball, but no flags down.
You know, I'm never one to really criticize the officials, but they're missing a lot of offside penalties. That time Timberland definitely, as we'll see here, over the line and no call. So they're getting good. Either they're getting great jumps or they're just offside and they're not throwing the flag.
Yeah, it was looked like that was number 8, Jalen Jefferson Jr. Brought the pressure from the outside.
He's a good-looking athlete. You can tell tall, long, and lean, and can run. Jefferson trying to register a sack.
2nd and 10 now from the 35-yard line. Costa's got 2 receivers split both left and right. One blocking back that's long. He's going to come across the middle to number 3. That's Sammy Gress. Going to pick up probably about 4 yards on the forward progress.
Christopher Williams and Jamal Williams there on the stop. And you know, when the offensive line, once they've given Costa some time, he's been able to take his time and complete some passes. So it's just a matter of keeping that front 4 of Timberland out of the backfield, allowing Cameron Costa a chance to survey the defense and deliver the football to his wide receivers.
There's a 4-yard gain, so you're looking at 3rd and 6 now, a long 6. 3 receivers down to the left. Gress, Clare, and Marinero. He's going to look right, flick it upright. And McCoy had turned the inside. The pass goes to the outside. And again, Costa hit again.
Yeah, feeling the pressure coming straight up the middle, right into his face, and didn't really get a chance to find the open receiver or even allow McCoy to run his route. So he just had to get rid of it, and that's what he did. And it's 4th down, and the Bishops will punt it away once again.
7-play drive. And again, that offensive line at Bishop England, they're going to sit back in film session this weekend and look to see how they can get better for next weekend. That ball's going to drop. Richardson's going to take it. He's going to drop it, pick it up. Going to look left, come back to the middle. Nobody's going to put a hand on him, and Richardson goes to the outside, and the punter's got the only beat on him, and he's not going to get it. Richardson to the 10, to the 5. And another touchdown for Jeremiah's brother, Jalen Richardson.
Sitting up here in the press box with us, and that's normally what happens, Dean. The punt team has a tendency to kind of relax when they see the punt returner kind of to fumble the ball and have a hard time picking it up. So they kind of let their guard down, and once you do that, great returners like Jalen Richardson have the ability to take it to the house.
Well, he goes right up the middle, and this is what Candy was talking about. No one laying a body out to try to put a hat on Jalen Richardson, the 3rd touchdown of the night for the young man. Scored one on a receiving, ran one in from a short distance to make it 19-0, and now the long return for a touchdown on the punt. And then we got problems. Alston's going to try to throw it out for the 2-point conversion. Not going to happen. To make it 33-3.
And you know, Dean, you talked about Art Craig saying that he felt like he had a team that could go deep and make a run for the state title. As we know, there's 3 components to a good football team: offense, defense, and special teams. And this is the one area that the Wolves will definitely have to make improvement in.
Jalen Richardson with the long touchdown on the punt to put him up 33-3. With his brother in the booth with us. It's a good day.
You know, Dean, that's why I respect these guys so much. These guys at the 2A level, 1A level that play, both ways. You have that long run, you get maybe 30 seconds to kind of catch your breath on the sideline, and you're right back out there, whether it be on the kickoff team or on defense. Right now he's on the sideline with his helmet off, but, he's the starting linebacker, so his job is not done yet.
Well, up 33-3 to a 30-point lead. We'll see now if Art Craig is able to substitute some of the younger kids in. And here comes Richardson back out on the field, so the answer right now is no. Now you go back to the opening week for Timberland. They had not won an opening season game dating back to 2014, and they played Stratford, a team with about 70 players dressed out. Timberland had about 35, and Art Craig said it was one of those satisfying wins that he had seen. Gress puts a nice hit on number 10. It's Williamson, or number 30, should I say. Trevin threes. But he said that was really kind of the setter for the season, to watch how his team came out. He's like, a lot of his kids were cramping. Most were playing two ways. And they came up with a win over a 5A school. And then he's like, it was just the luck of the draw, or the bad luck of the draw. He's got a bye week, and then he's got the hurricane. He got 2 weeks where he gets, just a little bit of work in. Sets up that game with Providence Day. And Providence Day, if you don't know about them out of Charlotte, they're a private school, and they are absolutely loaded. They've got 5 kids committed to go to Division I schools this year, multiple players through the years. Really a polished program, and go up there after not playing for 2 weeks. And quite the learning lesson.
Well,
All right, time now for our getaway and play of the game. Who else? Number 51, Jamal McKinney flying through the hole. Marinero tipped it to quarterback. McKinney right there, and the speed of the end zone. That young man certainly excited again. Comes just minutes after getting his state championship ring at halftime for being the state shot put champion. That's our getaway play of the game.
And normally you practice the tip drill because a wide receiver tips it, or someone on defensive end. Normally you don't do the tip drill in the backfield. But great hands by McKinney and outstanding speed to get to the end zone.
Costa's back out, going to pitch it out to Long. And a nice stop on the inside. But that happened to be number 23, Omari Jenkins, the 9th grader. Look at the speed he has from the inside to the outside.
One of the only 2 9th graders on the team, and both of them we've called their names a lot tonight. We got Omari Jenkins, like we just talked about, and also Hayden Redders is the other. So getting some contributions from the young guys, and that's what these programs are built on, Dean. They don't necessarily rebuild, they just reload.
Lost a 3 on the play. Costa back, going to hand it off.
There he is again.
So,
and this kid was in the 8th grade walking around middle school halls this time last year, and now he's having a career night against the Bishops of Bishop England.
So, you go back through the years. Tracy White, the linebacker, played here.
Correct.
Won a Super Bowl ring with Seattle.
Played at Auburn.
Played at Auburn as well. As you look at 3rd and 13. And then you go back to the old days when Macedonia and St. Stephen were still running and open in business. Nice pass to the outside. Great catch by Sullivan Clare. And then you start talking about athletes. Cliff Dingle was the first running back, defensive back, went to Penn State. He was the one that really opened up the floodgates. And then Courtney, Joe Hamilton, Pearson Prelo, Harvey Middleton, the wide receiver, went to Georgia Tech.
Of course, Courtney Brown was the #1 pick by the Cleveland Browns, had a great career at Penn State. Dean, you just mentioned Joe Hamilton, who starred at Georgia Tech. Preston Prelo went to Virginia Tech. Great players out from this side.
Long and the quick pitch. Picks up 5 yards on 6 yards on the play. but there is something about rolling around in this dirt, this part of Berkeley County. There's been outstanding talent to come through. And again, small school, big talent, hard work. As Costa looks at about a 2nd and 6 from just short of the 50-yard line. Got 6 guys up on the line. He's going to fake right, throw right. Going to hand it off to number 20, Charlie Michelle. Going to move the chains again. And again, down 33-3 is also a great time to learn a little bit more about your football team, right? Who's in it when you're down 30 points.
Yeah, great fake that time by Costa. Great execution and a nice snag that time by Charlie Michelle. And somewhat of a naked bootleg as we see head coach John Caney back over on the sidelines. And I got to think, Dean, Costa, I know the other Costa, Drew Costa, who played at Bishop England, went on to walk on the football team at Clemson as a kicker. I'm assuming they are related at
Quick
somehow.
Pitch to Long to the outside. Long going to take it to the 40, all the way down to the 37-yard line. I don't think they are. I think that Cam Costa, he was here in the 8th grade. I believe his family moved to Ohio for a year.
Okay.
And then came back and moved back to the area, I believe, his sophomore year. Now he's a senior.
Gotcha.
But when you take a look at Coach Caney, and he had that GI issue and lost 30 pounds. I asked him, I said, when you were out, did you miss it? And he said, I can be honest, I was so sick, I didn't even realize what I missed.
Right.
He said, I just struggled to get back through the day. As Costa looks out, hand on the shoulder, flag should go out. They're not going to throw it.
Tender receiver. Looks like it was McCoy.
Yep, Jaron McCoy. He said the only thing I could do all day was get my kids to school and come back home. And he said I wanted to break down film. He's like, I just couldn't do it. Just didn't have the energy. I mean, he would head to the bathroom 20 times a day.
Yeah.
He found out that it was just much more important to get healthy than it was to get back quickly. And that's what, he took away from it. Found out there's Big Sam Moultrie jumping in. He said, the old saying is if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And he learned that in the most painful of ways. So he couldn't do anything, couldn't enjoy anything. And then he started thinking, what would life be like for my children without having a father?
Right.
Not having in full strength, not being there as a grandfather.
And his dad, legendary coach at Bishop England, Jack Caney, the stadium field named after coach, and he knew about the struggles that his dad had, and for John to just realize that we all know he's a great guy, great coach, very passionate, loves this Bishop England program, but sometimes Dean, you have to just pause and just do what's best. So it's just really good to see him back.
Clear on the inside. Costa makes a bad decision to try to flip it out. Not going to happen, and that's number 18, Jamal Williams with a pick and the 6. As Costa working hard to make something happen. Tries to flip it out almost like an option pitch. Never sees number 18, Jamal Williams. With 6 minutes on the clock, make it 39-3. At this point, tuck the ball and run.
Yeah, or just get down, take the sack, and live to see the next play. And again, that speed of that Timberland defense in the right place at the right time, and the interception, the pick 6. As you see Art Gray kind of leading him down the field. And it's just been that type of night for the Bishop England offense and the Timberland defense.
That is the second defensive touchdown on the night for Timberland Wolves. Defense set up their third touchdown on the turnover. That led to Jalen Richardson's touchdown. That was in the third quarter to make it 19-0. This was a 13-0 game at halftime.
Yeah, this kind of got away from Bishop England. Those early touchdowns in the third quarter for Timberland kind of took the air out of the sails of the Bishops. And that's why this game has gotten away. And it looks like Timberland will once again come victorious against Bishop England.
You're watching Friday Night Rivals. A 40-3 game with 6 minutes left. Brought in part by Stars and Stripes and Cruise Chevrolet. You got a friend in the car business.
Best of luck to the Timberland Wolves from Trident Health. Samuels will be kicking off for your Wolves. Sullivan Clare and Sammy Grease will be back to receive the kickoff.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Your Will Lou Gray Never Stop Learning play of the game. Cam Costa with the pitch. Jalen Richardson with a pick. And then he's going to take it to the outside. Nobody at home to stop him.
This defense has been lights out tonight for this Timberland.
Jamal Williams with a touchdown, and that's our Will Lou Gray stop of the game. You know, and interesting enough, talking about the defense, right? The defensive coordinator for Timberland, a bad man by the name of Justin Scott. He was on the 2001 Timberland team, played for Art Craig. That was Art's first year.
Wow.
And they started that year 0-2, which is what they started last year. That's the only two times they started 0-2. His first year, and then again last year, is number 4. Nate Abdu takes the kickoff and returns at about 8 yards.
You know, if you're not familiar with this Timberland program, we talked about the success of them and winning the region titles. And so you're probably saying if they're winning 10 or 11 games every year, how are they always losing the first game of the season since 2014? Well, it's because they're playing big-time opponents, schools like, 4A and 5A schools. And, that's one thing that Art Craig has never been afraid of, is playing the bigger schools, the bigger competition, to give his guys that necessary experience and exposure to hopefully pay off down the season. So,
well, it's also this, too, because I was doing the math. I'm like, this doesn't seem right, 12 wins a year. And he's been doing it for 18 years. But you got to understand is that there are very few times they go 1 and out in the playoffs. As Long keeps running hard, loses helmet, right? By the way, Omari Jenkins just absolutely leveled a guy out in front of this play to your left of the screen. So, they may lose 1 or 2 games a year.
Look at Sam Moultrie. I mean, Sam's just chasing him down.
Right.
Like he's a running back.
But he's picking up 2 or 3 wins as he gets into the playoffs.
Right.
Right.
Again, making it to the lower state finals. As you mentioned, fortunate enough to win the state title, a couple of years. So, yeah, you add, 10, 11 regular season games plus usually a minimum of 2 to 3. Well, that's how you're able to get 12 wins every year.
5:15 on the clock. Still a lot of the starters in for Timberland right now. Omari Jenkins with about his 9th tackle in the last 45 seconds, it seems like.
And right now, this defense, they can pin their ears back. They know that Bishops are just basically trying to run this clock out and get out of here and keep everybody healthy, not suffer any injuries, and obviously get back to the drawing board and get ready for next week.
I think every starter is still on the field except for Jenkins, who's stepping in as linebacker right now. Another quick pitch, and McKinney again slaps it out of the air.
And that's what I was talking about. If they just maybe jab at him to make it appear that they're coming all the way to him and just go ahead and go peel back to the running back, it'd be an easy interception for them. And it almost happened that time, but he was able to kind of tip it, deflect the pitch. Unfortunately for BE, they're able to recover the fumble.
Bishop England's got some work to do on that offensive line, but they can take care of it. That ball bounces to the 45, going to bounce back to the 50-yard line, and then covered up by number 16. That's Jackson Todd, the junior wide receiver. Take a look at the drive of the game. We can go one of two ways with this thing, right? It could be one of those really quick drives, or we can just take a look at Matt Williamson just pounding in the middle for extra yards. Then you go to the outside with Jamar Nelson, going to turn the quarter with some nice block on the outside. Thanks to his buddy, Williamson takes it down to the 2-yard line. Quick pitch again to Nelson. Nelson takes it in for the touchdown, and that is your Cruz Chevrolet. You've got a friend in the car business drive of the game.
A little bit of inside, a little bit of outside. Timberland really having their way tonight. Their offensive line doing a phenomenal job of opening up the holes against Bishop England and allowing their skilled players to a lot of times go untouched until they were the second level of the defense.
And a new quarterback in the game. That's number 12, Hayden Redders, another 9th grader. Well, I want you to remember as we continue on with this season, remember this running back combo and see how they stack up against the other ones we see. Art Craig is in the huddle. None too happy, even though he's up 37 points. All right, our rock star cheer of the night. Let's take a look. We asked you all night long. Bishop England going to pick up the road win when it comes to the cheer of the night.
That makes sense. You know, a lot of BE fans probably not wanting to make the trek all the way out to the, well, middle of nowhere here in St. Stephen. So they're staying at home in the comfort of their homes and watching. So congratulations to the Lady Bishops cheering team.
I heard they were going to give you the key of the city here in St. Stephen until the last comment.
I mean, the one thing about coming out here, I love it because of the sunset. But seriously, Dino, this is not a place I would want to break down or my GPS to stop working.
Redders in the backfield, number 12. That's new quarterback, new running back is number 36, Christopher Williams, Jr., getting some playing time now.
Jack Wysong, 6-foot senior defensive lineman there on the stop for the Bishops. Yeah, this is always one of the prettier sunsets here from our press box view here at Timberland. It's just a matter of getting here. That's always the challenge.
3:25 on the clock. His 9th grade quarterback, Redders, comes over to the sideline, gets the play, and then goes back out. Listen, I love the drive. I love the peace and quiet. Give me an hour and 15 minutes, peace and quiet any day of the week. Quick handoff up the middle. Going to be a stop there by number 3, Sammy Gress. Been on a lot of the action tonight. Fumble. Ball out on the ground. Comes out after the whistle. It doesn't look like they're going to make a move.
Yeah, Nathaniel Everman thought he had a fumble recovery, but as you alluded to,
Gress on the inside, and they're pulling that ball out. But yeah, absolutely forward progress was stopped.
Gress, also a standout baseball player for the Bishops. The claim from Mike Darnell. He's done a phenomenal job. Many state championships in baseball for the Battling Bishops.
The last score I saw for Dorchester up now 20-0 on Berkeley. We were watching that closely. It was a 6-0 game at the half.
I know Wando was up 16-10 against West Ashley, so I'm not sure if that's a final or just an update. Man, Dean, there's nothing like high school football in the Low Country on Friday nights. An opportunity to get out and see these young men play football, obviously support the cheerleaders and the band members. It's just nothing like just football, especially once the weather gets cool like it is now.
Wando up 30-17 now with about a buck 15 left in that game. We got an injury to the running back that was just put in. Christopher Williams. Jermaine Wigfall, Jr., going to come into the game for him. Also into the game, number 5. That's Jaquez Prelo, a sophomore.
No, those Prelos out this way definitely are related somehow, some way.
There was Pearson had a brother, didn't he?
Yeah, because Pearson
had a brother. He went to Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Man in motion. Rutter's hands off up the middle. It's Roman Wadford, linebacker, getting some play. All right, our player of the game should come as no surprise. Look who the player of the game is. It's your brother. That was James Alston to Jalene. And then he's going to take another one in. Jalene Richardson scores 3 touchdowns 3 different ways. He had the pass, reception, had the touchdown run, and then he's got the punt return. You may want to dog your brother out for like loafing the last 7 yards. He almost got tackled by the punter, right? So get him up tomorrow morning, 6:30. Out of bed, whistle in the ear, get up. Got to put the effort in.
Run all 100 yards.
Congratulations to Jalene Richardson, our U.S. Marine Corps player of the game. We'll receive a nice shirt at the end of the game as we hand the trophy, our RKO trophy, to Timberland, delay of the game on Bishop England with about 21 left.
No, it's kind of rooting for Matthew Williamson to be the player of the game, only because he's 5'9".
Yes.
And Trooper Bob is a good 6'7". So I just wanted to see the height difference between Williamson and Trooper Bob. But we'll go with, and as Jeremiah's like waving his head, no, I want my brother to be the player of the game.
Well, they played well. A lot of weapons, and that's what Long takes it up the middle. That's what Art Craig talked about. He was like, we've got a lot of skilled players. We want to get the best matchups we can. And I think they found that on the offensive line. They found where the holes were. They found where they were successful, and they ran off that right side quite a bit tonight.
We know one matchup that they definitely won on the defensive side, and that was Mr. Omari Jenkins, the freshman, having a big game tonight. Talk about a bright future. He's going to be a problem for years to come.
It's just so quick. That's big number 76 getting a run. Steven Atkins, just a sophomore.
You look at this Timberland team outside of, obviously Alston and also Williamson and Richardson, those big three, they're all seniors. But from the other positions, Dean, a lot of youth coming up huge tonight. And that just means this future is going to continue to be bright for this Timberland football team.
They've got 12 seniors on the team, 7 juniors, 11 sophomores, and 1 really good freshman. As Durante Prelo comes in with a tackle, a sophomore as well. There's our RKO trophy. That's the one that's going to be handed over to the Timberland Wolves with 25 seconds left on the clock. Not sure if Bishop England's going to get another play in here. It was a rough go tonight. Cam Costa, quarterback, threw well all year. Had a couple of good passes, long yardage plays, but for the most part was running for his life. As the clock's going to tick down. And there's your double zeros. It's a 40-3 win. Timberland takes care of Bishop England with a huge output in the second half, scoring 27 points. It was 13-0 at the half. Timberland tonight is John Canty and Art Craig. Say hello. We're watching Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Stars and Strikes, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Our post-game activity coming up after the break. So a 13-0 halftime game becomes a 40-3 second half rout by Timberland. They are standing by with Trooper Bob.
Yeah, Dean, we got number 11 player, Marine Corps player of the game. Thank you. Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations on the big win. You came in here and scored 40 points on a team that came in here 2-0. How excited are you?
Well, I mean, after last week, I think it was good for us to get back and get our feet up under us. I thought defensively, we set the tone all night long. And then on offense, we did enough what we had to do. But it was just a great overall team win tonight.
You got some celebrating to do, or are you going to calm down and then just do a little celebrating, more work?
Oh, we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we got to start. We got the Stars and Strikes. We got the Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rival trophy here. Hold it up, Coach. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Jaylene Richardson, our player of the game. But you know what? That Jamal McKinney kid, right? If we could take that shirt, rip it in half, and give him the other half.
Exactly. A solid performance, well-rounded performance by the Timberland Wolves tonight.
You can always watch Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruise Chevrolet live on Facebook and Twitter. You can also go back and watch the entire game on demand on abcnews4.com. The game will be available on demand 24 hours after the broadcast. Thanks to all of our sponsors for making FNR possible, including Low Country Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Next week's game, we've got Woodland visiting Bishop England. Tonight's final score, 40-3. Later tonight, tune into ABC News 4 at 11 for Friday Night Rivals for a complete rundown of the scores from around the Low Country. See you next week on Stars and Strikes Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet.